It's a mistake, and the consequences will be unbelievably bad. That is what former U.S. President George W. Bush has to say about the U.S.'s decision to withdraw its troops from Afghanistan. Bush launched the war in Afghanistan when he sent U.S. troops to the country following the September 11th terrorist attacks back in 2001. That war was America's longest, and the U.S. military presence in Afghanistan was able to successfully keep the Taliban out of control for many years. Well, following the U.S. withdrawal earlier this month, everything has changed. Across the country, tens of thousands of civilians have been displaced amid a surge in fighting as the Taliban advances, and the Islamist extremist group claims to have taken control now of nearly 200 districts across Afghanistan so far. That's as the Afghani military is struggling to maintain a stronghold. Well, joining us now from Washington, D.C. is Mariam Wardak, the founder of Her Afghanistan and a former senior advisor to the Afghan National Security Council. So, you heard me say it. George W. Bush criticized the withdrawal, calling it a big mistake. He said the consequences would be unbelievably bad. What exactly are those consequences?
Well, I would like to bring attention to everybody that I think it's such a strategic point that George Bush would like to speak out now and did not speak out when President Bush decided to make this announcement, because all of this was initiated during the Republican term. And currently, what will be the outcome if there is nobody else to support the Afghan National Defense Security Forces in fighting the Afghan Taliban? It will be violence, as it is right now. There are a number of deaths. There are Afghan National Defense Security Forces that are willingly handing their weapons to the Afghan Taliban. And that has a lot to do with the dynamics of the internal politics that's happening within the Afghan National Defense Security Forces. The high turnover of leadership, whether that's the Minister of Defense, Minister of Interior, the Chief of Army Staff, the lack of confidence that individuals have within their systems, and the fact that they seem to feel that the Americans, the Western troops, have lost credibility in the eyes of the Afghans. So when the Afghan government was supported by international allies, but those allies have lost trust in the people that have lost trust in their allies, what else is there to do? There is going to be violence if people do not adhere to what the Taliban want.
Now, it looks like the Taliban have really just been waiting for the U.S. troops to leave, and now they're taking one territory after another. Can the Afghan forces hold their ground, or are we going to see the Taliban ultimately taking over the entire country?
I think in Obama's administration, when President Biden was his vice president, there was an announcement, I believe it was January 24th in 2000, I forgot the year. He made an announcement that he was going to withdraw 40,000 troops. I think from that day on, the Taliban have been extremely patient, and they realize that all of the U.S. troops, Western troops, will all leave. And then that is going to be their win. The Taliban have never been stronger than ever. I think the morale has been extremely boosted. And the concern here is this the right move? And if it is the right move, what is going to happen? How are we going to stay in the interest of the Afghan people? Because that is what is the concern. Not only the Afghan interest, but the regional and the safety of the whole entire world community.
Now, we've seen these horrific images of Taliban fighters executing Afghan soldiers. We now hear that they're targeting Taliban interpreters for the U.S. Army. Can Afghan authorities keep them safe, and what kind of repercussions could we see for the mass Afghani population as a result of the Taliban taking over?
The Afghan National Defense Security Forces are stretched very thin. We have 22 active terrorist groups in Afghanistan. Aside from that, now the criminality has increased over 50%. So they're stretched very thin. I doubt that there is a possibility that they will be able to keep each interpreter safe or any of their soldiers safe. And yes, they're going to be the point of contact. They're going to be the ones who are going to face the brunt of all of these issues, the forces and the Afghan interpreters, because again, it goes back to the credibility of our Western allies. They made promises that they have not fulfilled, and now leaving such individuals at the brink of instability and insecurity.